So when I was back in college, like many of you, I stayed in the dormitory. So, and this is where I lived for 2.5 years of my university life.
Where?
Where?
Wow. Looks like my room.
It's better than my current room.
It looks like my previous room, my ex room.
Okay, so this is where I live. So living in a dorm is cool, right? So there's food downstairs and vending machine all around. And then you can wake up at 9:50 for a 10 o'clock class. Isn't it? Everything's awesome. Okay, except the Wi-Fi. Right? I mean, you can use a LAN cable, but we're talking about the Wi-Fi here. So the Wi-Fi router is far away, and my door functions like a Faraday's cage. So when you close it, you get no Wi-Fi. Okay, and no, I'm not going to leave my door open. Okay, I need my privacy. Okay, so let's look for a solution. Okay, I have a phone. Okay, I can do hotspot. Okay, so let's see how much data I have. 3.8. Okay, looks pretty good. Okay, let me calculate how much data I use daily. So daily YouTube hours, 4. Okay, don't judge me. And how much data does YouTube take? Okay, it's a lot. Okay, so plan B. I went to buy a router. I'm just kidding. Okay? So
Yes.
okay, so I recalled that I bought something long ago. Okay, so since it's a mini computer, routers are mini computer. Okay, let me try and Google whether this works.
How do you Google?
Okay. It seems like I'm pretty smart. Okay, and somebody actually searched for how to turn Raspberry Pi on. Okay. He's gonna have such a good time with Vim. Okay, so let's go to the first link. Okay, it says that I'm gonna need to have a Raspberry Pi. Okay, mine is a Pi 2. So does it have any difference? Okay, so compared to Raspberry Pi, it has more CPU and more RAM. Okay, doesn't this sound familiar like your newer phones? Okay, being released right now, just upgrades. Okay, so next is to flash with the Raspbian OS, easy. Getting Wi-Fi adapter. Okay, let me go over to Q10. Okay,
Why
so
Q10?
Okay, so it looks like a dongle with antenna, so it must be a Wi-Fi dongle. So I bought this. Okay, 5 days later it arrives. Okay, so next is to run the install commands. Okay, something I used to do, installing many things. Install HostAPD from someone else's repo. Okay, open source, yay. Okay, next is to install DHCP-Server package. Okay, elementary. So next, configuring. So I needed to configure blah 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 using nano. Okay, no, I don't nano. Okay, I gotta build this. Okay, so I changed it to Vim. Alright. Problem. Okay. No! It's not Vim. Okay. Okay, so let's go. What do I need to configure? I need to configure DHCP server. So, okay, blah blah blah. I can set my DNS. Yay. Okay, so I set to Cloudflare and Google's DNS. Okay, no more using ISP DNS. Okay, hello free speech. I also can set my the range of IPs that my DHCP can give out. So I set it to 20 to the second last IP address available. So the last one usually is used for broadcast. So you guys are aware, like so something 255. 255 is used for broadcast, and then the first one is usually target for the router. Okay, so next is to set which interface the router should be running on. So just to make sure, okay, let me check my internet. So it seems like the Raspberry Pi doesn't configure it properly. So usually when you type ifconfig, you'll see like EN0 or WL0. But for this case, I'm having a bunch of numbers. So it's ENX and then a whole bunch of weird strings. So it's not being configured properly, but never mind. I can still make do with it. So what I did was, instead of setting the interface to YLAN 0, I set it to the garbage numbers. So it still works. This is simply pointing to a certain string. Okay, next is to make sure that my wireless LAN interface requests for a specific IP from the DHCP. So imagine why do I set this? Okay, imagine your router is randomly jumping to a different address every time. So it's not something that you expect, right? So because when you want to talk to your router, it's always like this specific address. So when I mean you want to talk to your router, as in you want to configure your router. So for this case, I set it to get yourself a static IP. So tell my Raspberry Pi to get yourself a static IP, and then the IP to get is the first one. So it's 8.1. Okay, so next I have to configure more of the HostAPD. So I open the file. Okay, so I needed to set my SSID, so which is your router name, so your network name. So for ours is I think Shopee off and all those things. So okay, so I can set my SSID, so I set to CanPi. My passphrase, I changed it for this video. So you can log in. Okay, next I also have to set my WPA. So because I'm trying to have a password, so you have a different type of password encryption type. So you have the WEP or WSA, WEP or WPA 1 and 2. So I'm using WPA 2. It's still vulnerable. You guys can still hack it, but please don't crush my Raspberry Pi. Okay, next you also can set the channel. So the channels are your Wi-Fi channels. So you have the 1 to 13, right? So usually you'll be set at 6 or 7. So I changed it to 8. So hopefully it won't collide with like those people that don't know how to set a router. Okay, finally we reach packet routing. So firstly I have to tell why do I have to do this, okay? So whenever you send your computer talks to a router, the router needs to know that whether it should pass it to someone else or not, which is to pass it to the gateway so that your packets, your computer can talk to the internet. So if not, your router will just be consuming all the packets and then you won't be reaching the internet. So for this case, I tell it to forward all the IPs to the gateway. And then what to forward? So remember that my Pi is a router, so it has a subnet inside. So it has more computers connecting to it. So if like say I want to talk to another computer within the same network, it should not forward it out to the gateway, right? Because it will go one whole big round and then come back to the other side. So it's stupid. Okay, so what I did here was to set, to check the incoming source. So if it's coming from my own network, and then it's outgoing to a place that is not within the network, which is with this exclamation mark, is a not. So if it's coming from the network and it's not going to somewhere in the network, it should be going outside the network, right? So it means that I should send it out to the internet, to the gateway. So that's what I did here. And then the final setting is masquerade. So why do I have to do that? So whenever I send a packet out from this router, it's gonna go to the gateway, right? But remember, who is the sender? The sender is behind this router. So it has the source address still stuck as the node behind the router. So if I send it out to the internet and then it wants to come back, it will try to find the wrong IP address because it should come back to my Pi router first. So this is what an NAT do. And this is what this setting does. It's a network address translation table. So I need to check what's my packet and then rename it so that it can come back to my router. Okay, and then if that's it, finally, reach the final step, reboot. Ta-da.